Let me tell you a story. It begins in silence. Not the peaceful kind. No birds, no wind. Just that eerie stillness before violence. Imagine two warriors staring at each other across a frozen field. One blink, one twitch, and someone dies. One of them is Miyamoto Musashi. The other doesn't matter. He's already dead. He just doesn't know it yet. Musashi doesn't flinch, doesn't blink, doesn't breathe, because Musashi isn't fighting with a sword. He's already won inside his mind. The battlefield isn't outside, it never was. It's inside your skull. That's where the real war happens, and that's where Musashi dominated, not with strength, not with speed, but with something far more terrifying, an iron mind. Musashi fought over 60 duels and always dominated. Some of his opponents were armed, some were trained, some were desperate. All of them were sure they'd win. Every single one ended up bleeding into the dirt. And here's what most people miss. Musashi wasn't born a genius. He wasn't blessed. He wasn't touched by the gods. He was just willing to walk deeper into the darkness than anyone else. He understood something that most men never even question. Your mind is a weapon. Sharpen it or be cut down by someone who did. I didn't really understand this until I hit my own breaking point. A few years ago, I was stuck. Not in a movie kind of way, with rain on the window and sad music. No, I mean really stuck. Waking up with a pit in my chest, looking at myself in the mirror, and feeling like a fraud. I had big goals, big dreams, but my actions didn't match. I kept saying, next week I'll fix it. I just need some motivation. But the truth is, I was mentally weak. I was soft. My mind was a circus of excuses. I'd scroll through my phone instead of working. I'd lie to myself and call it rest. One night I stumbled across a quote from Musashi that hit me like a slap. You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain. I always talk about this quote in my videos. That's how important it is. No shortcuts, no half efforts, just brutal, focused intent. That night, something clicked. I stopped waiting for motivation. I started training my mind like a weapon. Cold showers, early mornings, discipline over dopamine, and I realized something insane. The world bends for the man who controls his mind. Musashi lived by a code, not just with his sword, but with his mind, his focus, his detachment. He didn't care about luxury, comfort, or status. He didn't slept in a comfortable bed. He trained alone in the mountains. He stripped away everything that made him weak. Today, we do the opposite. We chase comfort like addicts, likes, Netflix, validation. We let the world chew up our attention and spit it out, and we wonder why we feel empty. Musashi would have laughed at us. He believed that the mind must be forged like steel, by pain, by silence, by war. He once said, "The primary thing when you take a sword in your hands is your intention to cut the enemy, whatever the means." Translation? Be ruthless with your purpose. Eliminate everything else. Musashi didn't care if you were stronger. He didn't care if you were faster. He cared about one thing. Can you stay composed when death is 2 inches from your throat? That's power. Not fake confidence. Not fake grind set tweets. Real power. The kind that lives in your bones. You don't build that by reading books and repeating quotes. You build it by walking into the fire willingly, by sacrificing comfort, by confronting the darkness within yourself. Let me be brutally honest with you. Most people will never make it, not because they're stupid, not because they're unlucky, but because they never learn to control their mind. They keep handing over their power to distractions, to women, to their past, to other people's opinions. They live like beggars when they were born to be warriors, but if you're still reading this, you're not like most people. There's a reason you're drawn to Musashi. There's a reason you feel this in your chest right now, because deep down, you know you're not living at your full capacity, not even close. Musashi mastered something I call mental violence. That doesn't mean rage. It means a relentless, emotionless clarity, a refusal to be moved by fear, lust, pride, or doubt. Do not let your mind be clouded by desire for victory or the fear of defeat. That's deeper than it sounds. Most of us chase success with desperation. We chase money to feel secure, women to feel wanted, status to feel alive. But Musashi didn't chase. He walked with stillness like a ghost. He knew, the man who moves the least controls the game. Here's something I never told anyone. One morning, I woke up and felt like I couldn't breathe. No reason. Nothing happened. just this crushing weight on my chest like life was mocking me. I sat on the edge of my bed and said out loud, "I'm tired of being weak." That day I went to a park and stayed there until sunset. No phone, no food, just a notebook. I wrote down every lie I had been telling myself, every excuse, every tomorrow. Then I burned that page. That was the day I decided I'd rather die standing than live on my knees. Musashi wasn't just a swordsman, he was a mirror that shows you exactly how far you are from greatness. Not in skill, not in talent, but in discipline, focus, self-control. You think you're strong? Try staring into silence for 6 hours straight with no phone, no food, and no one to impress. You think you're wise? Try killing the part of yourself that needs validation. That's what Musashi did, and that's why he became unstoppable. Musashi wrote, "To win any battle, you must fight as if you are already dead." That quote is the key to everything. The man who is willing to die becomes the most alive. You stop fearing embarrassment. You stop fearing failure. You stop begging the world to approve of you. You simply act with brutal clarity and calm aggression. That's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes you dangerous. This world doesn't reward the smartest, it rewards the most disciplined, the most focused, the most mentally unshakable. If you want to be powerful, don't chase power, chase clarity, chase detachment. Train your mind to endure hell and come out smiling. The modern world is full of fake warriors, guys who lift but can't sit alone for 10 minutes. Guys who talk about discipline but crack the moment life gets inconvenient. Don't be one of them. Be the man who moves in silence, thinks with precision, and acts with lethal intent. The battlefield isn't out there, it never was. It's not in the office, not in the gym, not in some imaginary arena filled with applause and adoration. The real fight, it's right between your ears. It's your fear whispering that you're not good enough. It's your comfort seducing you to stay soft and safe. It's your excuses, elegant and persuasive, telling you tomorrow will be different. It's your doubts, those well-dressed liars wearing the mask of logic, asking you who you think you are to try. And Musashi? He beat that enemy in the dark, in solitude, in silence. Before he ever picked up a sword, he sharpened the weapon within. So now the question is, can you do the same? Can you sit with your demons long enough to stop flinching at their presence? Can you suffer on purpose, bleed on purpose, lose on purpose, until you learn to walk with death on a leash? Because in the end, it's not about winning. It's about becoming a man so still that chaos steps around him. A man so mentally forged that the universe would rather bend than break him. Not defeated by others, not broken by failure, not shaken by the gnawing jaws of life itself. Become that man, or die trying. And if you're not ready yet, at least stand up straight and look like you are. Musashi's ghost is watching, and he's unimpressed by slouching. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.